as much as people think that we try to avoid pain and sadness and we distract ourselves from feeling these things, it's my experience in the last number of years that it also takes a special kind of resonance, or not something special, but there's also things to let go of to truly feel joy and awe and to feel comfortable in that joy and awe. And I don't think we pay as much attention to just how uncomfortable we feel in that as well, if we're not attuned to that
Absolutely.
experience.
I mean, I mentioned psychedelics earlier, and just to be clear, I'm involved in that, and I do some psychedelic integration work for people that have in the past taken psychedelics and are struggling to integrate the experience. But as you're probably aware, there's a huge bubble of excitement and interest all of a sudden in psychedelics at the moment, and I'm kind of sit on the fence with that. I have a kind of raised eyebrow to some of the kind of inflationary kind of aspects of that, because it's I think there is a role for psychedelics going forwards in mental health, but it's not going to solve everything. Of course, that's a lovely dream and fantasy, but it's some reality to it. But I connect that thirst and that sudden excitement with that around the fact that people are constrained. We are living in a society where you think about social media. There's a gaze upon everything that you do. And certainly, these young people, they live their lives in the gaze of others, which really is quite tightening and constraining. So psychedelics offer this kind of split off experience over there, that you can have this experience of extreme mobility and freedom, and hopefully integrate something of that back into your life. I mean, my first career was on the stock market, was on the futures market and the live floor, which is incredibly noisy, colourful, aggressive, environment in that sense. It's an absolute cacophony of aliveness in that sense. So, I've gravitated to, I'm getting older now, so I tend to spend more time and appreciate more silence. But that is on the bedrock of being in a flow of a very different, very version of aliveness in that sense. And I think, from a Jungian perspective, again, if I do have moments of real genuine being in the flow, it relies upon the fact that I allow myself to not be in the flow too. So, there's not much of Netflix that I haven't seen, really. I'm voracious. I'm up all night watching kind of numerous Netflix series. And, if I play squash, I'm vicious. I kind of, love the screamy, shouty aspect of that, because the benefit of doing Jungian work from one perspective is that you enlarge the boundaries around which you can move. So, we're here talking about this stuff from a more kind of spiritual, peaceful aspect, but we must not ignore, the more egoic version of that too,
Absolutely, and that's very encouraging to hear that we probably share some similarities in terms of, I'm picturing a tennis match with my brother when I was younger, and my racket somehow ending up on his side of the court. So yeah, but I really do love that image. That there's an image, I think, I forget what the exact quote from Jung was, but it was there was an image of a tree beside it, and it's like the top of the tree is dependent on how deep the roots go, and kind of expanding the experience in both directions, so I can feel absolute joy and so I can feel absolute sorrow. They're kind of predicated on each other because they do exist in relation to one another. Thanks for watching the latest clip from the What is a Good Life podcast. My name's Mark McCartney. I'm the host of this podcast, and I'm also a coach based in Berlin. Over the last 2 years, I've interviewed over 150 people around this question, and I've distilled these findings, anecdotes, and experiences into both corporate workshops and one-on-one coaching programs. If you're a corporate looking to book a workshop for your next event, or you're a working professional in need of finding answers to some of the bigger questions in life, please direct message me below for a free 30-minute consultation.